Good morning, traders. It is Friday, September 11th, 9/11. We will never forget. We're about 2.5 hours into trading. Many of you may not realize this, but 11 out of the last 12 9/11s have been bullish, meaning that the market closes higher than it opens. It's a bit of a patriot rally. So we certainly have that going on today. There are some longer term issues. A lot of selling pressure yesterday. We're going to take a look at that right now. You can see how the market opened a little bit higher. It's been trying to grind higher. However, we have this bearish 10P cross. Ideally, I'd like to see 10P well above zero before it crests. That would give me a more legitimate sell signal. But you can see how this upward sloping trend line has been breached to the downside. We could easily test the low from yesterday. That is approximately SPY 333. Here's what I did not like about yesterday's price action. And I mentioned this in the video that I did yesterday. In fact, I was warning everyone that this looks like the selling pressure could actually increase. Here we see that the market sold off. Okay, we expected that to happen because we had a bullish climax, a buying climax, and usually that first wave of selling is very heavy. That's because bullish speculators are flushed out of their position. However, asset managers who missed this rally are anxious to get back in. And when they get this type of opportunity, boom, 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 they will buy right away. When that fails to happen, then we know that there's a lot of profit taking that has yet to take place, and that on this tiny little bounce that we got on Wednesday, they tried to rally the market yesterday and it was instantly smacked down. In fact, we took out the low from Wednesday and we challenged the low from Tuesday. That is a sign of heavy selling pressure. This drop is going to continue. This support level will fail. When will it fail? Could fail today. I think Monday or Tuesday, very likely to fail. So we're going to go into the 5-minute chart and I'll be able to show you that a little bit more clearly. Right now, we have to be very careful on the long side. So you can see yesterday, the market tried to get back to that high from Wednesday. You can see the late day selling that I referenced in yesterday's video. That is a warning sign. 1, 2, 3 challenges of that prior day high. And once the market started to roll over, the selling pressure really took hold. And I didn't like this bearish cross as much down here because, again, it's below the zero line, but this was a much clearer sell signal, and this is exactly when I was recording the video yesterday. I'd mentioned to you when the market was coming in right here that if I were recording, if I were not recording a video, I would be short. And that took out the low of the day, small bounce, and then we got a heavy wave of selling later in the day. This is where we took out the low from Wednesday, and then that was a challenge of the low from Tuesday, the low of the week. You don't want to see that support level tested this quickly because it means that sellers are there constantly. Heavy selling pressure, downward sloping trend line. Today, I think that the move higher is going to be muted. We do well to tread water because if it weren't for 9/11, I suspect that the market would have been taking out this 333 low, and we probably would have closed heading into a weekend below that 333 level, and we would have seen additional selling Monday morning. But for right now, the market's just chopping back and forth. You can see here that we've got a mix of green and red candles, nothing organized. There's really no pace to the move. We did have an upward sloping an upward sloping channel earlier, and if that had held, then we would have seen eventually a buying climax and then a pullback, but it didn't. We failed. That upward sloping trend line right there has been breached. I think we're just going to chop around today. The action has been pretty subdued, so let's take a look and see if we can find a few stocks. NFLX. Netflix has been relatively weak. It's a stock that was coming up on my searches yesterday. It's one that I identified yesterday. I shorted it just a little while ago, made a little bit of money on it. I think this stock heads lower. You can see this upward sloping trend line that's been breached. So Because of my market bias, I'm going to be showing you a couple of shorts. There you can see that upward sloping trend line that's been breached. We have a lower high double top. That's interesting. And the major moving averages come into play. Let's put those up. Right there is the 100-day moving average. I think the stock could easily get down to that 100-day moving average, which is at 468.21. This stock looks really weak to me. We'll put up the 1 OSI indicator, and you can see the orange line will be below zero. Right there, that's a sign of relative weakness. We can also search for stocks with relative weakness on a D1 basis, and perhaps that's something that I should do in this video. But right now, I'm just going to take a look at stocks with some heavy selling. You can see the market's been flat. This is the last 30 minutes of the S&P 500. It hasn't gone anywhere. So if we have stocks right now that have been drifting lower, those will be good candidates for shorting. Lulu, that's a nice short. Look at that relative weakness. You can see the orange line is below zero. That's a nice short. It's below the prior day's low. So Lulu, LU, looks like a good short on an intraday basis. And on a daily basis, look at that weakness. Big gap down after earnings, long red candles closing on their low. Yes, we're coming up on that 100-day moving average at 305, but we're currently at 313. So we've got 8 points of downside on that one. That's a nice short. I like it. Continue to look through here. CHWY. After earnings, that's a breakout right there. Now we have a failed breakout. This stock is likely to come down and challenge that 100-day moving average. Not good price action there. PENN. This is a bearish engulfing candle right here. We had a breakout yesterday. This was one of the longs that I highlighted. I liked it yesterday. I think that you've got to be a little bit cautious. Right here is your clue. We want that horizontal was resistance. Now it's support. That horizontal support needs to hold. If it's broken on the downside, then this becomes a shorting candidate. But as long as that holds, it'll be a check to make sure that buyers are still there, and then it has a chance to drift higher. Apple, let's take a look at that. That's also a very weak chart. You can see how the market was selling off this week, stock along with it, but it has barely bounced. So today, this would be a new closing low for the last few weeks. Let's put up that, you can see the orange line here below zero, relative weakness. And you can see market flat, Apple tick, tick, tick lower. Do you see how easy it is to find these opportunities? And look, you've also got this downward sloping trend line from yesterday that you can lean on. So I'm going to click alert, and we'll draw it a little bit with a more gradual slope to it. And actually, this data point right here is going to block me from being able to draw this line. There we go. That's a downward sloping alert line. If it's breached to the upside, I'll know about it. No, I'm not looking to buy it, but if I were short the stock, as the stock continues to drift lower, that line continues to move lower, and I use that as a stop. But yes, Apple looks relatively weak today. So there we've got a few shorts right off the bat that I think will play out well on the short side. I've highlighted Netflix, NFLX, Apple, AAPL, and Lulu, LULU. So let's see what we've got going on alongside here. And then I'm going to show you a custom search that'll help us. Today is Expiration Friday. So in the last hour of trading, we're going to be looking for some lotto trades. Without any market tailwind, I mean, the market is pancake flat right now. It's going to be hard for us to do any lotto trades. Maybe things change between now and the close. I've got to see some market pace. I've got to see some momentum. If I get it, then I will be looking for lotto trades in the last hour of trading. I'm always looking for lotto trades on Friday, so I'll see what I can find, but chances are I'm not going to be very aggressive with it. I probably won't trade very big size. So let's see if we've got anything relative strength 30 that looks good. These would be stocks that are moving higher. COF, nice move right there. With the market flat, Boeing trying to get going, not too excited about that. JPM, bank stocks catching a little bit of a bid here, not too excited about that. Nike is one that I highlighted earlier today, and UAA was really good too. Nike, I like it. Right in here, look at that support. You can see how the market's still flat. Stock is ticking higher. Nike is breaking out to a new all-time high. If all of the conditions set up well for me in the last hour of trading, and if Nike maintains its current posture, then perhaps it will set up for a nice lotto trade. Would I be buying out of the money lotto calls on Nike right now? Heck no. Absolutely not. Still a lot of time decay. I like to buy my lottos in the last half hour of trading when all of that time decay has been drained out of it and when I can buy these options for a dime and they have a chance to go in the money. But Nike has been a really nice one. You can see this breakout here on a daily chart. UAA was on the list early today. Got a nice little move higher right here. We had a breakout through that horizontal resistance. I got on board early with this one at $11 and a penny and made about 22 cents on it. Very nice trade on $11 stock. It looks pretty good today too. So obviously, the apparel companies are doing pretty well. GILD, that's been a strong one today. Market has been pulling back. Let's back this out just a little bit to reveal more of the price action. So here you can see the market was up, up, up on a 5-minute chart, and then we had this pullback here. Look what the stock did. It gave back a little bit, but boom, it bounced right back to the high of the day. I think Gilead's trying to get going here. Deeply, deeply oversold stock. So I would not swing this on the long side, but I certainly think it's got some upside on a day trading basis. Uber looking pretty good through this horizontal resistance level right here. Long green candles closing on their high, but there is a resistance level right up here on that bar right there. And you can see we've got a little bit of room left in it, so I think that there's still some meat on the bone. Could still take a position in Uber. Choppy though. It's got no pace because the market has no pace. So on the long side, NKE and UAA look good. I would not, and boy, I cannot emphasize this strongly enough, I would not take any long positions overnight. I feel that the market has a lot of profit taking ahead of it. It still has to find that support level, so it's too early to try and swing from the long side. If the market does break that 333 level today and it closes on its low heading into the weekend, especially when 11 out of the last 12 911s have been bullish, if it ignores that and we close below 333, then I think that you can take Netflix, Apple, or Lulu home short over the weekend. I don't know where we'll find support, but 324 on SPY is a likely level. Also, we've got the 100-day moving average coming into play around SPY 315. Let's put that up to confirm. 100-day moving average is, yes, at 315.46. So this is our first support level at about 324, and then we've got 315 at the 100-day moving average. That also could come into play. The 50-day moving average is right here. That would be the first support level today, and that's at 331.67. So if we take out 333, the 50-day moving average will be in play, and we may close below it if we take out that low today. So let's see how we can find a custom search that might have some really good bearish picks for us. First of all, we go into option liquidity. We're going to go to 0. We want to make sure these options are liquid. 0 to 15, that's a good value. I'd like to see a stock that has some relative weakness. So I'm going to go to strength versus SPY, and let's click on relative weakness on a 4-hour and a daily basis. Let's just see what we've got going. Lots of stocks. The way that you run custom searches is you cast a wide net and then you start drawing it in. Every new variable that I add, it becomes more restrictive and my number of candidates should go down. Show me a stock that's below the prior day low. Okay, now our list is all of a sudden smaller. Let's look for a stock that's got heavy volume today. Okay, Now we're talking. This is probably going to be a good list for us. And let's look for a stock that has a bearish ADX on a 5-minute basis. So that means it has negative momentum. Aha! Now we're down to just a couple of stocks. Let's take a look at these. Oh, yeah. See that? That's how we do it. So we've got the market coming in right now. Got the market showing a little bit of weakness in here. Before I would get aggressively short, I would want to see this 1OP indicator spike up, give me a nice bearish cross. I'd like to see the market compressing, not moving higher with the 1OP indicator. That would tell me that this is a bearish divergence. And on that bearish cross, we can expect a breakdown and a test of at least that low. When I get that mix, then I start looking at stocks like this and stocks like Lulu for a short position, or Netflix. That's how we do it. If the market does test this low and it continues to sell off, then I may hold that position over the weekend. But I think 333 support that we established this week and tested twice, I think it's very vulnerable. When you see selling coming right after a bounce, that means that sellers are super anxious to continue to unload stocks, and they will sell on any little rally. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday. So be very, very careful with long positions. I'm going to be positioning myself on the short side. Those are the only overnights that I'm currently considering. And in order for me to take an overnight short and over the weekend short, I need to see us close below 333, and I need to see selling right into the closing bell. That's all I've got for you today. Have a great weekend. Please remember the heroes from 9/11. Sign up for this YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so that you never miss any of these videos, because I know I'm going to have a lot of great trades in them for you. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.